The endless hum of data servers filled the vast archive division of the Galactic Council. Commander James Walker sat at his desk, his tired eyes fixed on the holographic screen floating before him. After 15 years of organizing and maintaining the galaxy's most important records, he thought he had seen everything worth seeing. He was wrong. The error appeared during a routine system check, a small glitch in the database that shouldn't have been there. Most archivists would have ignored it, marked it as a corrupted file, and moved on. But something about this particular error caught Walker's attention. The file's encryption was unlike anything he had seen before, using patterns that seemed almost ancient. Computer, run a deep scan on file segment EG7249. Walker commanded, his voice barely above a whisper. The computer hummed louder, its processors working harder than usual. Warning. File requires immediate clearance. Walker frowned. Omega clearance was reserved for the highest-ranking council members. In his decade and a half of service, he had never encountered such a file in the general database. Display file creation date, he ordered. The date that appeared made him lean back in his chair. According to the system, this file was created over 300 years ago, during the early days of the Galactic Council itself. Walker glanced around the empty archive room. The night shift meant he was alone, surrounded only by the soft blue glow of data terminals. His fingers moved quickly across the holographic keyboard as he tried a few basic decryption methods. Suddenly, his screen flickered. A small portion of the file opened, displaying a star map. Walker's eyes widened as he saw a series of coordinates, leading to a region of space he had never seen mentioned in any official record. Below the coordinates was a single word that made his heart skip a beat. Quarantine. With growing excitement, Walker dug deeper into the partially decoded file. Fragments of text appeared. Species designation, human. Planet designation, Earth. Maximum containment protocols in effect. Knowledge of location restricted to Guardian clearance only. Walker's hands were shaking now. In all his years working with galactic records, he had never heard of a planet called Earth or a species called humans. Yet here was proof they existed, hidden away under the highest security protocols he had ever seen. He was so absorbed in his discovery that he almost missed the sound of footsteps approaching. Quickly, Walker transferred the basic file information to his personal device and closed the screens. Just as the last hologram disappeared, the archive door slid open. Commander Walker. It was his supervisor, Director Miller. Working late again. Walker forced a casual smile. Just finishing up some system checks, sir. Miller nodded, seemingly satisfied. Don't stay too late. Even archives need their rest. After Miller left, Walker sat in silence for a long moment. His personal device felt heavy in his pocket, carrying what might be the biggest secret in the galaxy. Why would an entire planet be hidden away? What made these humans so special that even mentioning their existence required the highest security clearance in the Council? As he prepared to leave for the night, Walker made a decision. Tomorrow, he would start digging deeper. Someone must know the truth about Earth and its inhabitants. Someone must know why such extraordinary measures were taken to hide their existence from the rest of the galaxy. Looking out through the archive's massive window at the glittering expanse of the galaxy, Walker couldn't help but wonder. Somewhere out there, hidden among those countless stars, an entire civilization existed in secret, and he was going to find out why. What he didn't notice was the small blinking light on his terminal, silently sending an alert to a system that hadn't been activated in centuries. Somewhere, in a hidden facility, an ancient protocol began to wake up. The secret of Earth wouldn't stay hidden for long. Morning came too slowly for Commander Walker. He had barely slept, his mind racing with questions about his discovery. The coordinates to Earth burned in his personal device like a secret too heavy to carry. As he walked through the busy streets of the Council capital, a message flashed across his communicator. Meet me at the old Star Dock. Dock 7. Come alone. The sender's name was simply listed as Guardian. Walker knew about the old Star Dock. It was a retired shipping port on the edge of the city, now mostly used for storing broken-down ships. The morning fog made the rusty metal structures look like giant shadows against the rising sun. Dock 7 was empty except for an old man sitting on a cargo box. His white hair and weathered face showed his age, but his eyes were sharp and alert. He wore a simple gray coat with a small pin on the collar, an ancient military symbol Walker had only seen in historical records. "Commander James Walker," the old man said, his voice stronger than his appearance suggested. "I'm Admiral Thomas Reed, former head of the Council Fleet and one of the last active Guardians." Walker's hand tightened around his personal device. "You know why I'm here?" Reed smiled sadly. "The alert system still works, even after all these years. When you found that file, it notified those of us who still watch." He stood up slowly. "Walk with me, Commander." They moved between the huge, empty cargo containers. Their footsteps echoed in the morning quiet. "Earth isn't quarantined for the reason you might think," Reed said. "We're not protecting the galaxy from humans. We're protecting humans from the galaxy." Walker stopped walking. "I don't understand." Reed pulled out an old holographic projector. A small blue image appeared, a planet with one moon, covered in blue oceans and green land. Earth, the most dangerous and precious secret in the galaxy. Not because its people are violent or aggressive, but because they're different. The image changed to show various scenes. Humans building cities, launching ships into space, creating art and music. "Unlike every other known species," Reed continued, "humans have no built-in limits to their growth. Their minds and bodies can adapt to almost anything. They learn faster, think differently, solve problems in ways that shouldn't be possible." "But why hide them?" Walker asked. "Because the rest of the galaxy would either try to destroy them out of fear or exploit them as weapons." Reed's face darkened. "We've seen it happen before, with other species that showed even a fraction of human potential." A sudden fit of coughing interrupted Reed's explanation. He pulled out a small medical device, pressed it against his neck, and his breathing eased. "The Guardians," Reed said after recovering, "are a group of both humans and aliens who believe that humanity must be protected until they're ready, until they can defend themselves." Walker thought about the implications. How many people know about this? Too few now. Most of the original Guardians are gone. Reed looked at Walker with intense eyes. "But someone accessed that file. Someone wants to find Earth. And they have resources we haven't seen in centuries." Before Walker could ask more questions, Reed's medical device began beeping rapidly. The old Admiral's face went pale. "There isn't much time," Reed gasped, grabbing Walker's arm. "They're coming. The hunters. They've been waiting for someone to find that file." He pressed something into Walker's hand, a small crystal data core. "Everything you need to know is in here. Find the others. Protect the secret. Protect Earth." Reed's grip loosened. His eyes rolled back, and he collapsed. Walker caught him, but it was too late. The old Admiral's body went limp in his arms. In the distance, sirens began to wail. Walker quickly pocketed the crystal and ran. As he disappeared into the maze of cargo containers, Reed's body began to dissolve, a final security measure to protect the secrets he carried. The sun was fully up now, but Walker felt like he was stepping into darkness. He had wanted answers, but each answer only led to more dangerous questions. One thing was clear: he was now part of something much bigger than himself. And somewhere out there, Earth was waiting. Walker's hands shook as he inserted Admiral Reed's crystal into his secure data reader. He had found a quiet corner in an old library, far from the archive division and prying eyes. The crystal glowed softly, and holographic images filled the air around him. What he saw made his breath catch in his throat. The first recording showed a space battle from 200 years ago. A massive alien fleet, at least 50 warships, surrounded 3 small vessels. Walker recognized the alien ships as Dominion craft, one of the most powerful military forces in the galaxy. But it was the three small ships that caught his attention. Their design was unlike anything he had ever seen. The recording's data labeled them as human vessels. What happened next seemed impossible. The three human ships moved in ways that defied normal space combat. They didn't just fight. They adapted. When the Dominion ships used their energy weapons, the human vessels' shields changed frequency. When plasma torpedoes came at them, they adjusted their defense patterns. Display battle duration, Walker commanded softly. The data showed 15 minutes. In just 15 minutes, 3 human ships had defeated a fleet that could have conquered a small star system. The next recording showed something even more remarkable. A human research team, working alongside alien scientists, was studying new technology. The aliens spent months learning the basic operations. The humans mastered it in days. More images flashed by. Humans surviving in environments that should have killed them. Human soldiers learning alien martial arts faster than their teachers. Human engineers combining different alien technologies in ways no one had thought possible. A text file opened automatically. Human biological analysis. Classified level Omega. Notable characteristics. Extreme adaptability to environmental changes. Enhanced learning capabilities. Unique problem-solving approaches. Unprecedented technological integration abilities. Full potential unknown. Growth rate exceeds all known species. Walker leaned back, his mind racing. He had always wondered why some technologies in the galaxy seemed to develop so slowly, why some problems remained unsolved for centuries. Now he knew. A new recording started playing. This one showed a human child learning to use an alien computing system. The child's brain scans appeared alongside the video, showing intense neural activity. Neural pattern comparison, Walker commanded. The computer displayed brain patterns from different species. Every alien species showed clear limits, points where their brains simply stopped developing new pathways. But the human brain kept growing, kept changing, kept adapting. The final recording made Walker's blood run cold. It showed a meeting of alien leaders from long ago. They were arguing about the humans. They must be contained, one alien leader said. Their rate of advancement is unnatural. In a few centuries, they could surpass every species in the galaxy. They're not bound by the ancestral limits, another added. Their potential for growth, it's unlimited. The recording ended with a vote. The result was clear. Earth would be hidden, its location erased from every database in the galaxy. The humans would be protected, but also contained. Walker closed the files, his mind spinning with what he had learned. Humans weren't just another species, they were something entirely different. Evolution had somehow missed them when it placed limits on intelligent life. Or perhaps, a new thought struck him. What if humans weren't an accident? What if they were designed to be this way? Before he could pursue this idea, his security scanner beeped urgently. Someone was searching for his location. The hunters that Reed had warned him about were getting close. Walker quickly removed the crystal and slipped it back into his pocket. He had seen enough to understand why Earth needed to be protected. But he had also seen why others might want to find it, or destroy it. As he hurried out of the library, Walker realized he was now carrying the most dangerous truth in the galaxy, proof that humans could change everything. The only question was whether they would get the chance. Behind him, shadows moved in the darkness. The hunters were closing in. Walker ran through the back alleys of the city, his pursuers' footsteps echoing behind him. The crystal in his pocket felt heavier with each step. He turned a corner and pressed himself against a wall, trying to catch his breath. A voice came from above. Up here, quickly. Looking up, Walker saw an open window. Without thinking twice, he jumped, caught the ledge, and pulled himself up. Inside, he found himself in a dimly lit room filled with old star charts. An elderly alien stood before him, a keeper one of the galaxy's oldest species known for their vast knowledge. "I am Mentor," the keeper said, his crystalline skin glowing softly. "And you, Commander Walker, have discovered something you were not meant to find." Before Walker could respond, Mentor activated a hidden panel in the wall. A secret room opened, filled with ancient technology. "The hunters won't find us here," Mentor said. "This place is shielded. Now show me what Admiral Reed gave you." Walker hesitated, then took out the crystal. Mentor placed it in an ancient device, and a massive hologram filled the room. It showed the galaxy as it existed thousands of years ago. "What you're about to learn," Mentor said, "is the true reason Earth must remain hidden." He touched the hologram, and it zoomed in on an ancient civilization, beings of pure energy and incredible technology. "These were the precursors," Mentor explained. "They achieved what every species dreams of, complete mastery over matter and energy. But their advancement brought them fear. They worried that other species might follow their path and either destroy themselves or become too powerful." The hologram showed the precursors working with DNA, modifying species across the galaxy. They created what we call the Great Barrier, genetic locks in every intelligent species, limiting how far they could advance. These limits were meant to be protection, ensuring no species could grow too powerful too quickly. Walker watched in amazement as the hologram displayed the development of various alien civilizations, each hitting the same technological and biological walls. "But they made a mistake," Mentor continued. "Or perhaps it was intentional. One planet was missed. One species was left untouched." The hologram showed Earth, isolated and blue. "Humans," Walker whispered. "Yes, humans have no genetic locks, no artificial limits. Their potential for growth is pure, natural, and infinite." Mentor's eyes glowed brighter. "But that's not the most incredible part." The hologram changed again, showing human DNA alongside precursor DNA. The patterns were almost identical. "Impossible," Walker gasped. "Humans aren't just random survivors of the Great Barrier Project. They're the descendants of the precursors themselves. A backup plan, hidden away on Earth, allowed to develop naturally without any tampering." Everything clicked into place in Walker's mind. That's why Earth must be hidden. If everyone knew humans were precursor descendants, the galaxy would tear itself apart, Mentor finished. Some would worship humans as gods. Others would try to destroy them out of fear, and some would try to use human DNA to break their own genetic locks. A loud explosion shook the building. The hunters had found them. Mentor quickly pressed something into Walker's hand, a small key made of the same crystal-like material as his skin. "This will take you to the Guardian's hidden base. Find them. Tell them what you know." "What about you?" Mentor smiled sadly. "I am the last of the original keepers. We helped the precursors create the Great Barrier. It's time I answered for that choice." The door to the room began to glow red as the hunters tried to burn through it. "Go." Mentor pushed Walker toward a hidden exit. "The galaxy's future depends on keeping Earth safe until humanity is ready to return." Walker ran through the secret passage as sounds of fighting erupted behind him. He clutched the key tightly, his mind reeling from what he'd learned. Humans weren't just special. They were the last unfettered children of the galaxy's most advanced civilization. As he emerged onto a different street, Walker knew the truth was more dangerous than he'd imagined. The secret of Earth wasn't just about protecting one planet. It was about protecting the natural evolution of a species that could change everything. Behind him, the old building went dark, and Mentor's light faded forever. The key Mentor had given Walker led him to an abandoned space station at the edge of Council space. As he docked his small ship, the station's ancient systems came to life, recognizing the crystal key's signal. Inside, the dusty corridors lit up one by one. Walker followed them to a large control room, where a massive screen flickered to life. Data began streaming across it, current information from deep inside the Galactic Council's secret channels. What he saw made his heart stop. Fleet deployment orders. He read aloud. Operation Cleanse. Target. Coordinates. The numbers matched the location of Earth exactly. More information appeared. A group within the Council called the Purity Foundation had discovered Earth's location. They had spent years secretly building a massive fleet, hiding ships and weapons across different star systems. Their plan was simple: destroy Earth before humanity could reach its full potential. A message flashed on another screen. Emergency Guardian Protocol activated. A hidden door opened in the wall, revealing a room full of advanced communication equipment. Walker rushed to the controls. They were old but still working. He began sending emergency signals on frequencies he found in Reed's crystal. One by one, responses came in. Hidden guardians across the galaxy. Some human descendants living in secret, others aliens who believed in humanity's potential. Their messages painted a darker picture than Walker had imagined. Council has been compromised. Purity Foundation controls half the High Council. Fleet launches in 3 days. Earth's defenses not ready. A new signal caught his attention. It was coming from inside the Council itself. The message decoded into a video feed showing a secret Council meeting. Walker watched as Council member Drake, one of the most respected leaders in the galaxy, addressed a small group. The humans cannot be allowed to develop further, Drake was saying. Our own scientists confirm they're advancing too fast. In the past 100 years alone, they've begun reaching for their own stars. If we wait another century, it will be too late. Another council member spoke up. But the genetic tests, some of us have human ancestors. Are we to destroy our own history? We destroy it to save the future, Drake replied. Imagine a galaxy where one species can advance without limits. They would surpass us all. Everything we've built, all our carefully maintained balance, would be lost. The video feed cut out, but Walker had seen enough. The Purity Foundation wasn't just some small group. They had power, influence, and now a fleet big enough to destroy an entire planet. He worked quickly, gathering data from the station's computers. The Guardians had been busy too. Over centuries, they had placed hidden agents throughout the galaxy. Some were humans, secretly working to protect Earth. Others were aliens who believed humanity deserved a chance to develop naturally. A list of names appeared. Council members who were secretly supporting the Guardians. Walker was shocked to recognize some of the galaxy's most powerful leaders. Suddenly, all screens flashed red. The station's sensors had detected multiple ships approaching. Walker downloaded everything he could onto Reed's crystal. As he worked, another message caught his eye. It was from a Guardian agent deep inside the Purity Foundation. Second Fleet discovered. Not meant for Earth. Target. All suspected human descendants throughout galaxy. Full extinction planned. Walker's hands shook as he read the message. This wasn't just about destroying Earth anymore. The Purity Foundation planned to wipe out every trace of human DNA from the galaxy. The station shook as the first ships began docking. Walker had only moments to escape, but now he had something even more precious than the truth about Earth. He had proof of a conspiracy that threatened not just one planet, but thousands of people across the galaxy. As he ran to his ship, Walker made a decision. It wasn't enough to just warn Earth anymore. He had to stop the Purity Foundation itself. Behind him, the first hunter teams breached the station's outer doors. The race to save humanity had begun. Walker's small ship darted between asteroids, 3 hunter vessels close behind. The crystal in his hand pulsed with a faint blue light, guiding him toward coordinates he hoped would lead to safety. Just a little further, he muttered, dodging energy blasts from his pursuers. The crystal's light grew stronger as he approached a massive gas giant. Then he saw it. A hidden station, perfectly camouflaged against the planet's swirling storms. A voice crackled over his ship's comm. Guardian vessel identified. Emergency docking authorized. His ship slipped through a hidden entrance just as the hunter's weapons fire lit up space behind him. Inside the station, he found something he never expected. A fully operational Guardian base, filled with both humans and aliens working together. An older woman stepped forward. Her uniform was unlike anything in the Council's records, but the authority in her eyes was clear. "Commander Walker," she said, "I'm Captain Maria Stone, Earth Defense Command. We've been waiting for you." Walker stared in shock. "Earth has a defense command." "We've been preparing for centuries," Maria explained as they walked through the station. "The Guardians didn't just hide Earth. They helped us advance in secret." They entered a large command center. Screens showed the Purity Foundation's fleet movements, Earth's location, and scattered human settlements across the galaxy. "Now you understand why this secret was so important," Maria said, "and why you have to make a choice." She pressed a button, and a hologram appeared. Earth, beautiful and blue, surrounded by hidden defense satellites and stealth monitoring stations. "We can evacuate Earth," Maria explained. "We have ships ready. We can save most of our people, scatter them across the galaxy. They'd have to hide forever, but they'd survive." She paused, looking at Walker intently. "Or we can fight, reveal ourselves to the galaxy, show everyone what humanity can really do." Walker thought about everything he'd learned. "If we fight, it'll be a war unlike anything the galaxy has seen." "Yes, and many will die, on both sides." Maria's face was grim. "But if we run, we prove them right. We accept their limits, their fear, their control." A young officer rushed in. "Captain, the Foundation's fleet is moving. They found 2 more human settlements. Weapons charging." Walker looked at the tactical display. The Foundation's ships were massive, powerful, and completely predictable. Just like their builders, they had limits, standard attack patterns, standard responses. But the human ships he saw in the old records, they adapted, changed, did the unexpected. "Show me Earth's current defense capability," Walker said. New holograms appeared, hidden shipyards in asteroid belts, advanced weapons platforms disguised as space debris, and ships, incredible ships that combine Council technology with human innovation. 15 minutes, Walker remembered. 3 human ships held off 50 Council vessels. "And we're much stronger now," Maria added. "But exposing ourselves means changing the galaxy forever. Once everyone knows humans exist, knows what we can do, they'll fear us even more." Walker finished. "Yes, so what's your choice, Commander? Run and hide, or stand and fight?" Walker looked at the crystal in his hand, thinking of Reed's sacrifice, of Mentor's last stand, of all the Guardians who had died protecting this secret. Then he thought of the Foundation's plan to destroy not just Earth, but every human descendant in the galaxy. The choice became clear. "We don't run," he said firmly. "But we don't just fight either. We show them." "Show them what?" Maria asked. "What humanity really is. Not a threat to fear, but a chance for everyone to grow." Walker pointed to the tactical display. "The Foundation thinks removing humans will protect their perfect, limited galaxy. We'll prove them wrong by saving it instead." Maria smiled slowly. "And how do we do that?" Walker held up the crystal. "With everything I learned. About the precursors, about why they created the limits, and about how those limits can be safely removed. We don't just fight the Foundation. We free everyone." Alarms blared across the station. The Foundation's fleet had changed course. They were coming. "Well," Maria said, "looks like we'll get our chance soon. Are you ready to help humanity change the galaxy, Commander Walker?" Walker looked at the approaching fleet. The biggest choice of his life had been made. Now it was time to act. "Send word to Earth," he said. "Tell them to light the beacons. It's time to stop hiding." The Guardian station shook as the Foundation's fleet dropped out of hyperspace. On the main screen, hundreds of warships filled the view, their weapons charged and ready. "They're broadcasting to the entire galaxy," a communications officer announced. "They want everyone to witness Earth's destruction." Walker smiled. "Good. Let them broadcast. We want everyone to see what happens next. Captain Stone gave the order. Launch all ships. Activate the beacons. Across the gas giant's stormy surface, hidden doors opened. Human ships emerged, sleek, advanced vessels that combined centuries of secret development with natural human innovation. But they didn't attack. Instead, they formed a defensive line. Council Member Drake's voice boomed across all channels. This is your only warning. Surrender Earth's location, or we will destroy every station and ship in this sector. Walker stepped forward and opened a galaxy-wide channel of his own. This is Commander James Walker of the Galactic Archives. Before anyone fires, I want to show you something. He inserted Mentor's crystal into the communication system. Across every screen in the galaxy, the truth began to play. The history of the precursors, the genetic limits they created, and humanity's true nature as their descendants. The precursors didn't create limits to hold species back forever, Walker announced. They were waiting for the right moment, the right species, to help everyone evolve naturally. The human ships began broadcasting strange energy waves. The Foundation's fleet weapons flickered, but nothing else happened. Drake laughed. Your attack failed. It wasn't an attack, Walker replied. Look at your own crews. Across the Foundation's ships, alien crews were experiencing something extraordinary. The genetic locks in their minds were gently dissolving, not in a dangerous rush, but in a controlled, safe way that humanity had spent centuries perfecting. This is humanity's gift to the galaxy, Walker continued. Not destruction or dominance, but freedom. The freedom to grow, to evolve, to reach your true potential. On thousands of worlds, billions of beings felt their minds expanding, their understanding growing. The careful barriers placed by the precursors were being removed, not by force, but by the natural key that humanity had become. Drake's voice shook. Stop this. You'll destroy everything we've built. No, came a new voice. More council members were joining the broadcast. We're becoming what we were meant to be. One by one, Foundation ships began standing down as their crews experienced their first taste of true mental freedom. The carefully maintained limits of the galaxy were falling away, replaced by genuine growth and potential. Walker addressed the galaxy again. Earth wasn't hidden because humanity was dangerous. We were hidden because we needed time. Time to understand our power, time to learn how to help others break free of their limits safely. Time to prove that advancement doesn't have to mean destruction. The last Foundation ships powered down their weapons. On the station's screens, reports began flooding in from across the galaxy. Species that had been stuck at the same level for millennia were making breakthrough discoveries. Ancient technologies were being understood in new ways. Captain Stone stepped forward. Earth is no longer hidden, she announced. We invite all species to join us in a new galaxy, one where growth has no limits, where cooperation replaces fear, and where every being can reach their full potential. Walker watched as the Foundation fleet began to disperse. His journey had started with a simple encrypted file and ended with the transformation of the galaxy. But this wasn't really the end, it was just the beginning. What happens now? He asked Stone. She smiled. Now the real work begins, helping species cope with their new freedom, teaching them to grow responsibly, showing them what humanity learned over all these centuries. The first diplomatic ships were already approaching the station, carrying representatives eager to meet their hidden cousins from Earth. The secret was out, and the galaxy would never be the same. Walker looked at the crystal in his hand, thinking of Reed, Mentor, and all the guardians who had protected this moment. They hadn't just saved humanity. They had saved everyone. The age of limits was over. The age of discovery was about to begin.